Good morning. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all the participants to the Community Development Program on Disaster Management today, the 2nd June. We had an overwhelming response with more than 3,000 registrations, but we have restricted the live participation only to commanding officers, administrative officers, ANOs, caretakers, GCI, and some cadets. So the recorded session would be sent to you through YouTube, and based on the speech of the resource person of the day, a feedback form and a questionnaire would be circulated in the YouTube link. Kindly fill that to receive your e-certificate. The overwhelming response shows the reach of NCC. It also shows the caliber of the resource person of the day, Dr.S.VINCENT. He is the Dean of Research and Associate Professor and Head, Department of Advanced Zoology and Biotechnology at Loyola College, Chennai. In addition to his academic excellence, he is a very motivating person who has been conducting and animating so many webinars to enrich community development and to cater to the needs of young minds. So I welcome you, sir. I also thank the management, my principal, Reverend Sister Sheila Vijay, for her motivation. And at this juncture, I should mention the efforts of our commanding officer of 5 Tamil Nadu Girls Battalion, Coimbatore, Colonel Satish, who has been instrumental in organizing such webinars, and he has always been motivational in anything innovative and anything that has got to do something with the development of the community. So thank you one and all, and welcome one and all. Now I hand over the session to Dr. S. Vincent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cynthia. Good morning to all of you. I'm extremely happy today to be with you and to share a very important topic and on the present scenario. That's the reason the topic is given to me is a disaster management on epidemic and pandemic, and especially on COVID-19. And before I start, I want to thank the administration of the Providence College for Women, Reverend Dr. Sheila, the principal, and the Colonel Satish, the commanding officer, the dynamic organizer, Dr. Cynthia George, and also she's the caretaker of NCC, and also all other officials and the dear cadets. And today, and everyone is little, some of you little panic, and some of you maybe a bit more panic. But when you say the panic, and always the panic to be called crisis. When you say it's a crisis, and always the crisis management. That's the reason the topic is much relevant today, the disaster management on COVID-19. And especially when you think of COVID-19, and today the WHO, the World Health Organization, declared it as a pandemic, and on basis of this, it's become the global disaster. So when you say the disaster and global disaster, and this is a disaster which is for everyone. Even the world pandemic, it also universalizing the problem. But at the same time, if it is an epidemic, it is very specific to a region. But when you think about COVID-19, the virus, and which really spread and trouble everybody, and that's the reason the World Health Organization, given as a pandemic, and on basis of this, it can be called the global disaster. The coronavirus, everybody now getting awareness about that, but still there are some information which should also have in our mind when you are in the process of the disaster management. Because when you want to really do a good disaster management, you should have the thorough knowledge or factual information about the crisis. So today we are under crisis, that's called the coronavirus disease, the COVID-19. Why it become a disaster? Because till yesterday, more than 62 million people are infected with virus. And similarly, we lost more than 3 million people. This data clearly is spelling out how the situation is really was. But what does this? Actually, it is a virus. Is infecting. When you see in the medical field, virus may not have a drugs, but preventing the virus, we'll have a vaccine. But for which, if you want to prevent or treat, we need vaccine. To develop vaccine is need more time. Similarly, if you look at the COVID-19 is a respiratory disaster, because this is really creating a problem in your respiratory process. So that's the reason we are losing so many people. So this is the real and factual situation about the coronavirus. But who are all affected much? And obviously the people who are having contact with an infected person. And that's the reason now the whole world working towards how you can slow down the transmission. When you slow down the transmission, then the disease which will go from us. But to slow down the transmission, and we should really take care of us. First of all, an individual, how he should take care, and how you should really take care of others. But when you look at an individual dimension, I have already told you, this virus, when it's create respiratory problem, then obviously this virus entering into your lungs. So when it's entered into your lungs, you have some complication. It may be start with cough, or it may be sneezing, or it may be sore throat, or it may be a fever. So these are the symptoms which are really indicating us, and someone may have the COVID-19. But there are viruses which is available, which may do the same, but it won't create much problem. But COVID-19, which really creating a problem. So with this, to slow down the epidemic, and we should really work as per the pandemic guidelines. That's what is given the keyword of pandemic. You are familiar with that. But why this preparation is given? That's what we say, the disaster preparedness for this disaster, the COVID-19. Now we are all familiar with this, the lockdown. Why this lockdown process is given to us? Temporarily suspending all the activities, temporarily suspending all the movements, so that we can avoid the spread of the virus to us as well as to others. So when it is meaningfully kept to the lockdown, and we are slowing down the viral spread. Suppose if we are not adapting, then virus become virulent into the system. The social distancing. Why this? Because the virus, when it gets spread to others, if it is beyond certain distance, it won't. Within a particular distance, and it's really spread. So that's the reason the social distancing, it is for the purpose the spread of this virus to others can be stopped. That's the reason it is asked to wear mask and cleaning up you, sanitizer. And then this is the word which also very frequent, quarantine, the isolation. Suppose you have a symptom, then that person, he or she, may get isolated or quarantined, and so that you can avoid the spread of the disease. The next, the containment zone. And the government identifies some of the vulnerable area which has the more prevalence of this virus. That can be identified so that you can contain that virus in this area. Then you can really treat that. Then you can stop the prevention. I mean, the spread of the virus. You are in the process of prevention. So that's what we have to do. And it's all given under the guidelines of disaster management, preparedness. So that is what today, I think in our life we won't forget these words, but I tell you, and in future, this will also get followed by individual, by the organization. So that's what we should do that. Then the disaster management authority given a clear guidelines on based of this in consultation with the Ministry of Home, and where it starts from home, domestic help. Suppose at your home, somebody is coming and assisting you as a domestic helper. Even how they, even sometime in the first lockdown, they were stopped. There is a purpose, there is a reason. How this can be, because they are coming from outside and there is a possibility to get exposed into the virus, then it gets spread. So that's the reason they given a clear guidance how a domestic servant should be there at your home. Then the employees, officers, support staff in office, because they are providing essential service. You cannot stop with that. You have to provide all support to the people, but how they should protect themselves. Then the bus drivers, then the taxi driver, and even permitting public transport. And there is a clear regulation now in the place. We have to adopt, and that is the reason the guidelines given, just all to prevent this viral spread. Then why should be done if your neighbor gets infected? What should you do? Because somebody gets infected, you should not run away from them. And how? There is a system. There is a clear guidelines given, and so that you can assist your neighbor. Because this is a time you have to extend all support to them. Then the bank and insurance office and ATM staff and visitors. Before it, I have to mention here, I want to salute all the NCC cadets and many institutions. The government converted so many education institutions to house the COVID-19 infected people. And the NCC cadets are well informed and they are in the place. They are really supporting and taking care of the people. I have to salute those cadets and extending all support to the such a infected people, so that they are getting their help and support through you. And I really thank you for this wonderful service you are rendering in different institutions. And similarly, even today, the ATMs are properly maintained. And even many ATM is having sanitizer. They really, and the visitors and even in the bank, how they are really taken care. Then the guidelines for employer and employee. And the gated housing community, the apartments, how they have to maintain. These are the guidelines now. And I want to really mention and the National Disaster Management Authority coordinating and providing proper guidelines as to protect and slow down this kind of virus spread into. With this background, and I have to give some scientific information about the coronavirus. Not all coronavirus making such an impact as it did through COVID-19. The first coronavirus to be called common circulating coronavirus. And it's a very ordinary virus, it's not virulent. It won't create any big problem. And you will get some ordinary cold and cough, that's all. And in the meantime, you will recover out of it. The second type, SARS, that's what we call severe acute respiratory syndrome. This is another type of coronavirus. It also creates so many problems. And now even the whole world also working towards it, but fortunately, we have developed vaccine for it to prevent it. Then Middle East respiratory syndrome, that's called MERS. That is SARS is the MERS. And that also coronavirus, which also made an impact. And even we have lost many people out of it. But when it comes to coronavirus, COVID-19, now there's so many disasters happening throughout the world because of its own nature. What is that? Here, what you are seeing is a diagram of a virus. But almost all viruses look like. But the difference of this coronavirus, there is a blue color which look like a receptor, and that's called a specific type of protein that's called spike protein. The spike protein is the one which is unique from other viruses. Other viruses are not having this, but only this virus is having this facility. That's the reason it's going and exactly binding in the lung cell, and it's connecting with the lung cell and establishing its place and creating so much of problem. So that's the reason today most of our people are really troubled. And now when it's happened and how really we address this issue today in our country, in the world, there are drugs which you have developed already. It is in the form of either a drug of antibiotic or a drug to treat, because there are drugs which we develop for malaria. There are drugs which we develop for tuberculosis. There are drugs which we develop for HIV. These are all used now to treat in the sense, and because the purpose of this drugs which are already developed to reduce the viral load into your system. When you reduce the viral load into your system, your immune system gets boosted so that you will be cured. That's the reason, luckily, there is a preparedness, disaster preparedness. We should thank our scientists and the physician, the doctors, which identify those with a very clear scientific way, because it's already tested with human before it's coming into the market. It's not making any side effect, and except one or two. But these are all allowed permitted drugs, which given, that's called remdesivir, favipiravir, then ivermectin, lopinavir, ritonavir, and the hydroxychloroquine and arbidohydrochloride. These are all drugs. They are available. And you may wonder, one side the people say no drug to treat this. On the other side, we are able to treat now, because now many people are getting cured, and we should thank this drug which is already available. And only day before yesterday, the World Health Organization asked us to stop providing hydroxychloroquine to the patient of COVID. But in US, and most of the hydroxychloroquine, which were very effective and sent by our Indian Indian government, and so that, and they are also getting their cure very much onto that. So there is a crisis management which is really done, and so that we are able to provide cure for many people. And now there is a new system in the curing process has come, and you would have heard this plasma therapy. It is wonderful. What is the plasma therapy? It clearly says that the plasma therapy is nothing but, it's a, even in science, it's a miracle. A person infected with coronavirus or COVID-19, when it's get cured, his blood can be used, because blood will have two parts. The liquid part is called plasma, the solid part called RBC, and the platelets, or even you can say that WBC, white blood corpuscles. So the liquid part, the treated person, the cured person of COVID, will have in the plasma antibody. The antibody, when you introduce into that, an infected person, the antibody which will counter the virus, and immediately will get cured. And now many people are also getting cured on the plasma therapy. So that's what, and now we are developing a new methods, mechanism to treat the people. Now the hope is there, and nothing to worry more on to that. Now the vaccine is the permanent solution. But even today, I have mentioned that the vaccine is not available, because when the virus infects someone, and once get infected, it gets spread and making a damage. But when you have a vaccine, there will not be any problem. But the problem with the vaccine, it takes so much time to develop it. If I explain this to you, you will understand. If you want to really, but right now there are vaccine developed. It is in the hand of some country, and is going to provide solution for this problem, the COVID-19. But you cannot immediately administer to a human or patient. It has to undergo some clinical trial. You would have heard this word, clinical trial. And in the beginning, once the vaccine is ready, you have to test with 20 to 80 patients of COVID and understand how it's really doing its job. And once that curing process happens, then you have to analyze the whole, is there any side effect and all this. Then this vaccine is permitted to administer another 100 to 300 participants. There it should be tested. Then once it's over, then we have to administer it to 1,000 to 3,000 participants. It's going on now. Once it's done, and you have to really check with the FDA, it's an authority to allow, permitted to market it. Then after that, you have to administer it to 1,000, so that the vaccine is ready now. Now you understand why it's getting delayed. But today, the World Health Organization, which is really coordinating all the efforts of the country, and I'm confident from September onwards, we are going to have vaccine by which we may not have any struggle into that. Now, what are the vaccine which is available in our hands? It's readily available now. It's developed during this crisis time. One is mRNA 1273, which is developed and now under the clinical trial. Then another vaccine, INO 4800. Then third one is CHADOXINCO19. then stabilized subunit vaccine, the nanoparticle vaccine. These are all things which are available, and I am confident, and a matter of few months before December, we'll get into that. Now there is an interesting information. As you all know, in Italy, this is the country which affected more with the COVID-19. But now they are the people ready. First vaccine is going to come from them. They clearly promised to the entire world and to the people. They said the vaccine is going to come in the month of September, because they have done many trials and they really got permission. And hopefully this vaccine will be ready, which may be a very, very heartening news for us. And shortly we will get the vaccine from Italy and other countries too. And already Oxford University, which developed vaccine and tested with monkey, and which giving very, very good results. And that's the reason it's also getting ready quickly. We may get into that. And then, and if you look at how many people really are going to benefit out of these things. But now coming into Indian system, an Indian contribution is going to be more, because we have the health system very strong, because we have Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani, Yoga, Naturopathy and Homeopathy are the traditional practices which we are doing. And I want to tell you today, if our traditional practices are practiced well in individual based, on based of the suggestion given by the system of this respective health care, we can really prevent this kind of viral infection from us. We should go back and analyze, because and even today our grandma and grandpa, they used to suggest, if you are with some cold or some cough, they suggest, why don't you do this way? But we won't follow. But today, the Party Vaidyam is going to be an outstanding success in our country and other countries. So we have to really, even today, the kind of the suggestion they say, ginger or turmeric, and that kind of things which we are really take very seriously and work towards into that. And then, and our country also equally going to contribute. And especially the PCG, and in fact is from your place. And where this already vaccine allowed for prevention of tuberculosis, very successful. And that's the reason in India we are almost controlling the tuberculosis. But now there is a clinical trial which going around how it can really prevent the COVID-19. If the success comes, I think India is one of the country can really say, and we have contributed to the world to control the COVID-19. Similarly, Bharat Biotech International Limited, with the help of ICMR, they are in the process to develop vaccine, and hopefully it will happen. And already our government allotted 100 crore to work with Oxford University and through the Pune Serum Institute of India, and hopefully we may get a wonderful, beautiful vaccine like any other country. Because when you develop, it may specific to your own people, and of course, otherwise also, if anything happens in the world, it comes to us. And obviously, we can really take care of our own people. Then here I have to make a special mention as to keep boost your immune system. You will not get any infection for through any kind of virus or any disease. So your diet supposed to have the following things: a diet with more zinc, a diet with more iron. Similarly, the kind of food what you are eating with vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin B6. Today, how our traditional medicine supports us, similarly our traditional food which provide all those. So hereafter we should really put a lot of effort and to identify the best diet so that you can boost our immune system, and especially our youngsters should know you always build your body with your immune system. It's not a very mere physical building, rather, and your biological building should be done, all your dieting pattern, and which, because the zinc really promoting the wound healing process. The iron really take care of your very specific immunity system. Then the vitamin A, it is very, very important, and especially for building immune system. Then vitamin C, that vitamin C prevent the infection, especially in your inner body. Then vitamin E, it really protect your cell, because your cell is not damaged. It's good for you. Then B6, it is also very much support you, and because it takes care of your immune system in a different body into that. Now, keeping this, how to manage this COVID-19? Sometimes there may be confusion, because sometimes we may not know who's going to get, who's may not get. But things are very clear. If you follow the guidelines and issued by the government, and especially the National Disaster Management Authority, and wherein you can easily manage this COVID-19. One is, when you adopt I have mentioned in the process of keyword, the lockdown, the social distancing, the mask. When you do that, you can prevent the entry of virus. Suppose you are not doing it, then obviously you are paying a way for virus entry. So that is the reason, as an individual, we should remember and we should follow the guidelines given so that we can prevent. Because once you prevent, then it won't get spread. The second one is, when you get infected, nothing to worry, because you have so much, which I mentioned earlier, the drugs, and the drugs takes care of. And more than that, our traditional practices, our diet, which I have mentioned, that can be really taken care, because when you reduce the viral load into your system, then obviously then you will get cured onto that. But thing is, in the process of managing COVID-19, you should not be negligible, or you should not be ignorant, or you should not be lethargic. If you are very clear, and nothing will enter into your body, into your system, I think I am mentioning to you, not only specifically to you, as you are the ambassador of this society, as a NCC cadet, you can carry this message to others, and that with their confidence only, I'm sharing the scientific information and how you can really work on that. With this, I want to really appreciate Dr. Cynthia for her greatest effort in organizing this webinar for the benefit of the NCC student, and so that, and you will be the ambassador to spread, to build the confidence, build the hope, and so that, and we all really fight this COVID-19 and protect our people very greatly. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. We are very happy that you have given us a positive note that the vaccines for this particular coronavirus would be ready in a few months. Again, I reiterate, the recorded version would be sent to you through a YouTube link. Please go through the video and fill up the feedback cum questionnaire to receive your e-certificates. I thank the resource person. I thank our commanding officer, Colonel Satish of 5 Tamil Nadu Girls Battalion. I also thank my management and my principal, Dr. Sister Sheila Vijay. And finally, I thank God, without whom none of our plans would be transformed into action. I thank you one and all. Thank you. We will close the session.